I let doctors report my parents for neglect after they spent 11 years calling my illness fake. Some kids had imaginary friends, but I had an imaginary illness according to my parents. The pattern started when I was 6 years old and began spending every other week at my dad's house after the divorce. Sunday nights I'd arrive healthy, and by Monday morning my body would revolt with a violence that made no sense. My body would attack itself in stages. First my joints locked up like rusted hinges, then welts erupted across my neck, and finally I'd be dry heaving foam while my dad watched. He'd drop a fresh plate next to me, the smell making me gag harder. Pathetic act, he'd say. You'll choke down every crumb even if I have to hold your mouth open myself. At my mom's house everything was different because I could eat her organic vegetables and grilled chicken without any problems, which only made her more convinced my illness was psychological. She'd watch me during meals and announce her verdict like a judge. See, you're perfectly fine here. It's all in your head. The first doctor we saw agreed with her assessment and called it psychosomatic, which became her favorite word to throw around whenever I mentioned feeling sick. When I begged for a second opinion, she'd grab my shoulders and shake me. Stop this attention-seeking behavior right now. You're not sick, you're manipulative. She refused more doctors and backed dad up completely despite hating him. I was trapped between two parents who agreed on exactly one thing. I was a faker who needed to stop the act. My dad's kitchen was a monument to processed food. Everything came from a box or a drive-through window, and when I tried bringing carrots from mom's house, he found them in my backpack and threw them in the trash. You're not too good for my food, he said while slamming the lid. Your mother's health nut bullshit ends at my doorstep. By 15, I'd become my own doctor since no one else would listen. I'd mapped out exactly which foods hurt me through years of silent suffering. Bread triggered joint pain, pasta brought brain fog, and pizza was Russian roulette with my digestive system. I learned to navigate a world that could poison me while everyone thought I was lying. I became that girl who always had an excuse and turned down birthday cake with a nervous laugh, protecting myself the only way I knew how. I lost my first friend group freshman year because they decided I was faking for attention, and it shattered me. Starting over, I found new friends who met every Friday night in Maya's basement for game night where we'd play everything from Mario Kart to Cards Against Humanity, and for the first time in years, I felt accepted. Maya became my best friend within weeks, and I finally believed I'd found people who wouldn't abandon me until she pulled me aside after game night with that look I recognized too well. We need to talk about next Friday, she said. It's not really game night. We're worried about you and how you never eat anything. That's when I realized they think I have an eating disorder. If my parents wanted to pretend I was healthy, then I'd give them healthy, even if it killed me. I showed up the following Friday pretending I had no idea about the intervention. Oh my god, you guys got pizza? I'm starving. I plopped down and grabbed a slice before anyone could start their rehearsed speeches. The coffee table was loaded with snacks, and 10 pairs of concerned eyes watched me fold the pizza in half and take a huge bite. Is this someone's birthday? I asked through a mouthful of cheese, already reaching for cookies. Maya started giggling nervously while her mom's worried expression melted into confusion. By my second slice, someone muttered, "Well, this is awkward," and the whole room burst into relieved laughter. 20 minutes later, my body extracted its revenge. Pain hit like molten metal in my stomach, and my skin burned like I'd rolled in fiberglass. I barely made it to the bathroom before violently ejecting everything while someone screamed for help. Maya's mom took one look at my swollen face and the hives spreading up my neck and made the decision that changed everything. Hospital. Now. The emergency room became a blur of blood draws and IV fluids. What I understood were the words that filtered through. Severe reaction, autoimmune response, celiac disease. My parents arrived like a thunderstorm, my dad's voice booming across the ER. Nothing was wrong with her until you people interfered. My mom stood with crossed arms, insisting I never got sick at her house. The doctor pulled up my test results and explained that I had celiac disease and my intestines showed significant damage from years of gluten exposure. Doctors will diagnose anything for a paycheck, my dad snarled. She's playing all of you. The social worker who appeared an hour later asked careful questions while Maya's mom held my hand. The documentation painted an undeniable picture of medical neglect, and when she quietly stated she couldn't release me to my parents, they exploded with threats about lawsuits and ruined careers. Security escorted them out while I curled into the hospital bed, finally understanding I was never going home again. CPS found my mom's estranged sister who lived 45 minutes away and got us in contact. Turns out Aunt Sarah had celiac disease too and understood exactly what I'd been going through. She took me in without hesitation and drives me to school every morning 45 minutes so I can stay with my friends. My parents sent one final email. You're dead to us for all the bullshit you've caused. Sarah got me a new number by my request. Changed my phone number without looking back. The friends who almost killed me stuck around, and Maya's mom still sends safe recipes. They accused me of performing my illness when the real performance was them pretending to be parents.